Hello everyone, I'm going to do an unboxing and how to set up the brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max. So the first part of this video will be just the unboxing, what comes in the box, but then the second part, I'm actually going to turn it on and show you what it's like to set it up for the very first time. Okay, so on the back side, there's these seals here. We're going to rip those open, and there's one on the bottom too. Okay, so once you get those seals off, be careful, the phone is right there. Man, I bet that could fall out very easy. It's got a nice cutout for the lens. There's this little piece of tab here you're going to pull up. Wow, this looks nice. Okay, so here's the phone. Wow. They've kind of squared it off here, haven't they? We've got some buttons on here on the side. Some more on this. There's the lenses. Wow. Doesn't feel super heavy. Feels nice in your hand. There's the charging port. So let's see what else comes in the box. Looks like we got a cable. So this is USB-C to Lightning. And what we got up here, some instructions. There's the tool you're going to need to take out to put a SIM card in. Got the nice little Apple sticker. That's very nice. And that's it. So there's no power adapter to plug into the wall. So I do recommend this Anker wall charger. I'll put a link to it in the show description notes. It's the Nano 2 30 watt. This is a really nice charger. It's got USB-C out, so you'll be able to plug your iPhone cable in there, and then you'll be able to charge your iPhone. This is how you charge your iPhone, like that. And then here's the tool. I'll be doing a separate video on how to install a SIM card on this brand new iPhone. Okay, so I don't know a ton about SIM cards as far as if your phone comes with one or if it doesn't. Turn it on and see if it has the SIM card in it already. Because my mom and dad, one time, I made her take her SIM card out on her brand new iPhone, and she was supposed to use the SIM card that was in the phone when it was shipped from the manufacturer. So again, I don't know exactly. There is the SIM card slot right there. You'll put that little tool in there and it'll pop out. So you may already have a SIM card in here ready to go. I got this from AT&T, so I'm assuming I got a SIM card in here already. So my perspective with this iPhone, I have not had an iPhone for, I don't know how long, probably since the iPhone 4. I've been a heavy Samsung user. I just got the brand new Samsung S22 Ultra. I'll be doing comparison videos with the two, but I don't know much about Apple phones. I don't even know what all these buttons are, but I'm going to come to it as so I want to come from it from a perspective of a brand new iPhone user, because I basically am. So this little sheet of paper is going to help me. So I know that's the power button now. On the right side, that's the power button from this little sheet of paper. They've got this is for if you don't want sound. See how you can turn that and it shows red, or push it up. It's a little switch. That mutes your phone so it doesn't make any sound. And then you got volume. So this is your volume keys right here. Volume up and volume down. So there's your power button right there. There's where you're going to charge it. So let's turn it on. You don't have to hold that button in very long, and then the Apple will show. Okay, so the screen is saying hello. It looks like it's got quite a few charge, and I see 5G. Okay, so it took me a while. It says swipe up. So this is when you first turn it on, this is the screen, but you have to swipe up. Okay, now we're going to select English. I'm going to select United States. So I don't have an old iPhone, so I'm going to select Setup Manually. So now it wants me to log into a Wi-Fi network. That's my Wi-Fi. So I'm going to click on my Wi-Fi right there. Now it's going to want the password. I'm going to use the keyboard to type in the password of my Wi-Fi. If you don't know what your password is, you may have to go to your router, look on the back side of it, and it'll tell you what the password is. Okay, so when you're done, click Join. So it looks like I didn't need Wi-Fi. I could have used cellular network, it looked like. It did have the option there to use cellular network. So now I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. I'm going to click Next. Okay, so it's saying it may take a few minutes to activate my iPhone. I went ahead and put my case on it. It was just getting the iPhones are too slick. So I put my case on it just so I would. Okay, so we got data and privacy. I'm going to hit continue. So this is where you set up Face ID. You can hit set up later, but I'm going to go ahead and do Face ID right now. Okay, so after you create Face ID, it wants a passcode. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be 6 numbers. I definitely write this down, memorize this. One thing I've learned with Apples, with my kids and different things, anytime you have a passcode for an Apple product, you've got to write it down because there seems like there's 3 or 4 different passcodes you may have to end up using for iTunes or iCloud or something. But it seems like every time they ask for one, it's the other one. So make sure you write down all your iPhone passwords. Now, the Face ID was tricky. You want to hold the phone and it's going to have it's going to be a circle and you're going to tilt your head and move your head up and down. And it was a little tricky. So just be careful. Just take your time with it. And you got to really read what it's saying. Okay, so anytime the phone kind of times out, it comes up to this screen still. Remember, don't forget you got to swipe up. Okay, this is where you're going to this is where you can restore if you've already had an iPhone and you want to restore from an iCloud or from your Mac or your PC. I don't have any of these. I do have an Android. I could move my stuff from an Android, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to transfer any data or apps. I want to start this fresh as a brand new phone. And so here's it's another ID, Apple ID. I don't have an Apple ID, so I've got to create one. So I got to click this little link right here. It says forget password or don't have an Apple ID. That's me. I could pick set up later, but I can create a free Apple ID. I think I'm going to need an Apple ID later to access everything that Apple offers. So I might as well create it now. Okay, so they're going to want a lot of information. Looks like my name, my birthday, and all that. Okay, so next, after you enter all your name and information, you are going to have to enter an email address. I have a Gmail account, so I'll enter my Gmail address. And so my kids have my email address. So now I got to come up with another email address because when the kids were little, we got them iPhones and they took my email address and now they're big kids now and now they haven't switched over to a different email address. So now I got to come up with a new one. Okay, so I've got to give it another password. This is a different password I've got to give. So I first had a PIN number, now I've got a password. I would be sure and write all of these down. Okay, after you give it a password, it's going to want to send a text to a phone number. You can either use your phone or another phone. And then it says it's going to take a few minutes to create an Apple ID. Okay, so this is saying keep your phone up to date. There's really no other option. You've got to hit continue. So I enabled service locations. It's going to use GPS to find where I'm at. Next is Icloud Keychain. I'm going to use it. I don't know that much about it right now. I'm going to hit continue, but I could do it without it. Next, it wants me to set up Siri. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so now we're on to screen time. Weekly reports looks like how much you're using the screen. So analytics looks like you can share or don't share your analytics. So they're probably just looking at different things you're doing with the phone. And then there's another one for the apps. So if you want to share the different apps analytics to the app developers. I'm going to hit share with the app developers. Looks like now we got appearance. We can select a dark, light, or dark. You'll either check which box you want and hit continue. Next is display zoom. How big do you want the icons to be? I'm going to leave it in standard, but if you had trouble seeing, you might want to put it in zoomed and hit continue. Okay, now it says welcome to iPhone. And they're kind of tricky. It says down here it says swipe up to get started. So it's going to sit there and look at you until you swipe up. Okay, so when you swipe up, it takes you to your iPhone. It looks really nice. Okay, so I got a notification that I got to go in and verify my email address. So I'm going to go to the email address I gave it and hit verify. Okay, so what I didn't show you is first you got to go into settings. So click on settings and then there'll be a little thing that says send verification code to your email. Then go to your email. There'll be a 5 or 6 digits or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be a 6-digit number. Enter that 6-digit number in here, then it will be verified. Okay, so when your phone goes dark on you like this, it kind of powers down. Just slightly tap this button And then you got to swipe up all the way. Don't just swipe here. Swipe from the bottom up. Oh, now it wants a Face ID. Okay, so something I just learned. So if it doesn't recognize your face, it'll ask for the PIN. But that's that first PIN you put in that I told you to write down. But if you want to reactivate the Face ID, okay, so to reactivate the Face ID, just swipe up, and now you can do the Face ID if it didn't get you the first time. That Face ID works really well. I'm very impressed with the Face ID. I had the iPhone kind of tilted a little bit. I had it kind of, if it even just senses your face a little bit, bam, it opens up. So Face ID works really well, but if you get stuck on this page and you want to reactivate the Face ID software, just swipe up right there and it'll reactivate it and look for your face. Okay, so just one little trick I've learned. So say you're in an app, like you click on it, but you want to go back to the home screen. See that little white line there? Just swipe up and it takes you back to the home screen. That's kind of neat. It's a lot different than Android. So, but say, yeah, if you're inside an app, there's no really back button and there's no buttons down here. You got to swipe up to go back to the screen. And so I did not have to put a SIM card in. It already came with a SIM card and it comes with 80% battery charge. Okay, some things I learned really quick. So it looks like right in the middle is notification. So if you swipe down from the middle, it's notifications. And then to get out of that, you got to swipe up. But if I swipe to the right, it's like your settings. This is where your different settings are. And then again, to get out of this, I got to swipe up. I wonder if there's anything. Nope. Over on the left is notifications also. And then if you don't see an app, keep swiping over and swipe to the right. And this is kind of all your apps in one place. Okay, so that pretty much does it for this. Like I said, I will be doing some other videos. I will be comparing it to the brand new Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra with those lenses. So I'll be doing camera and video comparisons. I'll be doing some other tricks on iPhones. So since I'm so new to iPhone, I'm going to teach people kind of what it's like to come from an Android to the iPhone. I'm going to use the iPhone for a while, see how I like it. My kids have iPhones and they absolutely love them. I've had Android for a long time. I love Samsung phones. But lately, I think the Samsung phones have been, the cameras were always really, really good, but I think lately the cameras are not quite as good. But that was with the S21. But it seems like the iPhones do have really good cameras. I'll be reviewing different chargers, different cables for the iPhone, and all kinds of different accessories, different cases for them. I like wallet cases. I like all kinds of different cases. So far, I'm very happy with the phone. Setup was not too bad, other than remembering a lot of two passcodes and an email address. Yeah, something they don't talk about. So that mag charging, they didn't talk about that in the phone. I know this thing's all about the magnetic charging and all that, and I don't understand that yet. So I'm going to do, when I figure out the magnetic charging, because it doesn't talk about it on the phone or anything. When I figure that out, I'm going to do a whole separate video on that magnetic charging. Because I bought the Anchor charge and flip for magnet. See, it's magnetic. So I got a lot to learn here, but I'm anxious to teach everybody. Because it seems like if I ask my kids about an iPhone, they just don't want to. They don't want to teach me. They don't want to tell me. They're kind of they're like, oh, you should just know it. Everybody knows how to use an iPhone. Well, I don't, but I'm going to learn it. But I'm also going to do instructional videos on how to teach people or how to do different things on the iPhone. Yeah, that's one thing about iPhones. There's no manual. Thanks everybody for watching. And if you could, please like and subscribe.